CHOP, which is the Capitol Hill Occupied Protest. Sounds a lot better, actually. I mean, CHAZ is like CHAZ, you know? CHAZ. CHAZ. It's CHAZ. But here's what I was gonna do. Since everyone's doing videos on what CHAZ is, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna try to. It's failed, obviously. Look, I'm gonna try to go back throughout some history about other failed social experiments that you might know or you might not know. I mean, this some conservatives are gonna love when I say this, where I say, "Hey, people have tried to do socialism and it failed. We'll try to do capitalism and it failed." I mean, hey, we're on what iteration of capitalism? Point. And one of the most famous ones I love talking about, which is New Harmony, which was made by Robert Owen in the early 1800s. It was a great idea stemmed from it. It failed, but great ideas did stem from it, such as 8-hour workdays, abolishment of slavery, and I think more than that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, no child. There was actual child labor laws, at least within this community, and there's probably gonna be an image that pops up somewhere here of what the town does look like, and probably what the town did look like, or an artist's rendition of it. And so basically, blah blah blah. This is a failed experiment that was created by Robert Owen, who was a philanthropist, a rich textile philanthropist, and he bought it for $150,000 back then for a whole fucking town. That's insane. And so it's considered the Owenite community. If some people hate the voices I make, but it's okay. It's what I do. So okay. Albert Owen was a social reformer and a wealthy industrialist who made his fortune from textile mills in New Lanark, Scotland. He was Owen, his 22-year-old son William, and his Scottish friend Donald MacDonald. Donald MacDonald. He had a Scottish friend named Donald MacDonald. Okay, I'm gonna name my son Ricky McRickety. Like, what? Like Darren McDarren. Actually, pretty cool. Okay, let's get into this. Blah blah. So he made this town, and it lasted for about 3.5 years. March 24th, 1825, Urban returned to New Harmony in 1825. Found 700 to 800 residents in a chaotic situation. Because it was needed by leadership. By May 1825, the community had adopted the Constitution of the Preliminary Society. I can't speak. Which closely outlined expectations of government. Under preliminary constitution, members would provide their own household goods, invest their capital at interest in an enterprise that would promote independence and social equality. Members would render services to the community in exchange for credits at the town store. And those who did not want to work could purchase credit at the store with cash payments made in advance. So either you work and you get credits, and you exchange those credits for useful household items at the town store, or you just pay for the credits. So okay, so I get it. This is a philanthropist made this, tried to do it, and again, this is kind of going to the points of this didn't really work out that too well. I'm not gonna lie, it didn't work out too well. It didn't. So okay. So Owen went out and was creating residents for New Harmony. Yeah, so let's early break of the socialist community had already begun. Members grumbled about inequity in credits between workers and non-workers. Because, again, if you already have money in a society and you start to go and run credits, the workers are always gonna have less. That's what's gonna happen. The workers will always have less than the people that already have the money. Like, hey, it's great because that society is great. if you already have money. If you don't have money, you're kind of fucked. You're not. There's nothing you can do to get to that point. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's not fair. It's just it's like not. It's like you're at the bottom of the ladder and you want to be at the very tippity top. That might take a couple generations or a few generations for you to get to that. I mean, I'm coming from a fucking poor like background, and it would take me. I could jump from here probably to like middle class. But me jumping from middle class to like actual insane wealth, that's very unlikely. Like it could happen. There's always outliers, but it just is very unlikely. The cards are not stacked in your favor at all. Um, I mean, that could be done through regulations. That could be. There's lots of things that are. It's a barrier to success. Capital is one of them. Whoever has the money can create the laws. Let's be honest. It's so yeah. Okay. So the socialist spike community's shortcomings, was passionate promoter of his vision, New Harmony, and it basically got torn down in 1827. No, like 1829. So it lasted for almost 4 years, roughly. Yeah, that's insane. Hey, I mean, it lasted almost. I mean, what? It lasted about 4 years, 25 to 29. Lasted almost as long as the Confederacy. But which one do some people celebrate more? I mean, it might tell something about some people. Just saying. And the next one's a little bit more on the note. It's the Paris Commune, and Karl Marx actually wrote about this and kind of had his doubts with the Paris Commune because it lasted less than a year, right? No, yeah, okay, yeah. Government Paris from 1972, last 3 years, 1972 to 1792 to 1795. That was this one. This one was not the one Marx wrote about. Okay, hey, thank you everybody for watching. And just a small take break right here. Don't forget, you can watch Sarah's video somewhere around here. One of these places. It's great. I don't know what it is actually. I'm not gonna lie, but I think it's great. Watch it now. Go. What do you like? Not right now. Like after this video, but do it. Okay. I'm watching you. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it now. Like that now. Like after this video. Okay. Let's go. Watch me from like 2 minutes ago. Thank you. Do this again. Okay, yeah. Alright. Yeah, so Paris Commune. The one lasted from 18th of March to 28th of May, 1871. Yeah, it wasn't great. It was a radical socialist revolutionary government that was ruled by Paris from basically March to May of 1871 during the Franco-Prussian War. Did I redo that? From the Franco-Prussian War, which led to the capture of the Emperor Napoleon III in September 1870, and the collapse of the Second French Empire, and the beginning of the Third Republic. So Paris was under siege for 4 months. The collapse, Third Republic moved its capital to Tours. So on 18th of March, soldiers of the Commune's National Guard killed 2 French army generals, and the Commune refused to accept the authority of the French government. That's actually pretty badass. Like, think about this. You're just like, hey, we're gonna kill your generals and say fuck you to everybody else. Like, that's badass. Like, if you don't like the government, just fuck you from someone else's government. Just be like, hey, no, we're gonna govern ourselves. That you gotta admit, there's some kind of just great fuck you kind of energy going on. Great. So debates over the policies, outcomes of the commune has significant influence on the ideas of Karl Marx. Described it as an example of the dictatorship of the proletariat. simply because the commune, well, the commune basically became a, well, it sucked because it lasted a very short time for multiple reasons: lack of management and um, lack of enough resources in time to be built to conquer like what two armies going after them at the same time. Like they won like one fight, they're like, yeah, we're good, we're nice, let's just keep it up. But I mean, okay, so again, I'm gonna probably show a picture of it. Uh, probably, probably showing bloody weak. But so yeah, so there's basically councils that were going on to pick out and vote on policies and as such and such and such. And they had the feminist initiatives. So like these communities, these communes and experiments, they don't last long. They don't. It's for typically they're not supposed to. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like the whole thing with CHAZ and CHOP, they're not meant to last long. They're meant to give ideas. That's what they're supposed to. I'll come back to CHAZ and CHOP in a bit. I'm talking about Paris Commune, and this was like the first thing of feminism, of feminist like initiatives. So like women giving the women's right to vote when they didn't. Um, just insane amounts of things. Uh, equal grounds of workmanship. That was a very important thing. So like just showing that women can actually work, like as well as men. That's how it is. There was the Women's Union for the Defense of Paris and Care of the Wounded. That happened 11 April 1871. The feminist writer Andre Leo, a friend of Paul Wink, was also active in the Women's Union. So it's basically believing their struggle against patriarchy could only be pursued through a global struggle against capitalism. They advocate for the abolition of prostitution, obtaining the closing of the Masons de Tolerance. I do not speak French. I can barely speak any language. Or legal brothels. That's what they were. The Women's Union also participated in several municipal commissions and organized cooperative workshops, along with Eugene Berlin and Nathalie Lima, to the cooperative restaurant La Marmite, which served free food for indigents and then fought during the Bloody Week on the barricades. So, hey, you had people that were small business owners and then they fought to protect their fucking land. That's great. I mean, and again, if anything, this kind of shows that this only happened in a few months. That's great. They had things picked out and they had things that kind of going for them, and it's great. Now, I mean, there were downfalls. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so like they had a press, they had religious persecution from the beginning. The commune had a hostile relationship with the Catholic Church, which, yeah, okay. Again, there's downfalls. Not gonna lie. Communists it voted a decree accusing the Catholic Church of complicity in the crime of monarchy. This was 1800s. Yeah, around that time. So Catholic schools cease religious education and become secular. The National Guardian searched the basements of churches and looked for evidence of alleged sadism and criminal practices. More elements of the National Guard carried out mock religious prosecutions and parodies of religious services. Yeah, so yeah, that I mean there was a lot. There was they took hostages. There was the National Guard basically became a totalitarian uh, body, and it became a totalitarian body and failed to actually help the people they wanted to protect in the first place because they just got creamed after someone bigger came in. But yeah. Yeah, but it's also, look, again, failed experiments. Lots of shit fails. But we have to learn what works and doesn't work. That's the whole purpose of going on. That's how we got women's rights. That's how we got worker rights. That's how we got children not to work in sweatshops, at least in America and in UK. Everywhere else, they still need to work on that. Not gonna lie. I mean, union members have died in the past. Abolitionists have died in the past. Feminists have died in the past for the rights that we have today. Failed experiments like this have failed. And we've gained the knowledge from that, and we use that for today. Now, let's get to the topic of today, the actual topic, which is CHOP and CHAZ. First off, I gotta say, it is incredible that something like this actually has happened in modern history in America. First off, they were never gonna be autonomous. They were not, like, growing food. Most of them probably have never like went outside their house to actually like grow food before. You can it's there's YouTube videos on how to make a community garden. I've seen the pictures and I've seen a video of it. It is bad. There's videos online to show you how to make a community garden, and there's books how to actually have a homestead and be self-sufficient. Now, with that saying, you're not going to do that in like a matter of weeks. It would take you literally months, like seasons. And this has lasted for a few weeks. So, I mean, because the Seattle police basically came in and took it over. Like they dismantled it. Like, I mean, they took over a couple buildings, they took over a couple blocks, and they did whatever they could, right? They tried violence, things got a little out of hand, and the thing is, what can we learn from this? Because we've learned things from those failed experiments in the past. We've learned things from Occupy Wall Street, which is a recent example, where we learned about cryptography. That became a little more mainstream. Encrypting messages became more mainstream during Occupy Wall Street, because during these types of movements, there's always going to be lessons, not just a lesson, but lessons to learn about moving forward and moving towards progression and having equality and security and less government interference, and what the actual role of government is. Is there any role of government? Do we need police? Do we not need police? Do we need fire department? Do we not need a fire department? Do we need politicians? Do we not need politicians? This is literally every time something that like in this magnitude kind of gets worked on, it gives us a way of doing things that we might like or we might not like. I, for one, love community gardens. I think they're a great idea. I think we need to actually implement more of those, and they could potentially feed homeless people. That's also kind of a pipe dream. I also think that we should also teach some of the homeless people actually to garden and get their own food. Because, hey, food banks and, work with farmers to go from that to that, help out everybody. That's my thing. Starve to death. That's a cruel. It's cruel and unusual. It's cruel and it's usual and it sucks. Fuck. But yeah, okay. So we're gonna talk about. I mean, look, there were riots. There's all this other shit that happened, and it's sad. No, okay. So let's go. So we're talking about CHAZ and CHOP. Okay, and think about this real quick. Without permits or really anything, right? They made quick co-ops and small businesses like quick. Like the no cop co-op, basically giving out free items such as like tampons, maxi pads, milk, like food you just take. And I mean, hey, look, you're saying, hey, the homeless people just took all the food and left. Okay, fair enough. And then they got more food, and people are like, oh well, they rely on capitalism to get their things. Yeah, Well, because everything around them is capitalist. Like, you really think they're gonna have enough time to go and fucking milk cows or even get a cow? And like, what? Like they can't grow their own food like right now, anyways. So they have to rely on this. And even communes in like the woods, there's a little bit of they have to rely on some things. There's police that get in the way of communes in the woods. There's property rights that get in the way on communes in the woods. Like it happens. It's and then communes even in the woods and in the fields they get a little like it does fail because it doesn't work. I mean, you can look at like some of the Amish people, right? Even they have like they trade. They go outside their communities. Like it's not like a lot of them come outside communities and either come back or don't. Like it's how it is, and even some of them get used to having modern technology. Like it's this weird uphold of like if you can't do anything 100% of the way, then it's a failure. And I'm like, okay, well then that just doesn't work. We don't even live in a free market society right now. We don't. I mean, it's not completely free market. We don't live in anything completely government controlled. And what I'm trying to say is we got to take these lessons that we learn, such as that maybe, hey, maybe we need less regulation on food, or maybe we need less regulation on co-ops. Maybe we need more co-ops. Maybe we need more street vendors. Maybe that is the way of maybe not the future. Maybe the way backwards or somewhere in the middle is the way forward. We gotta look at these things, and we gotta see like there's just it's sad. It's sad to okay. Cover this. It's sad to look at something and look at its failures. Try to take at least one good thing from it. Anything. This video is kind of probably gonna be all over the place. I'm gonna edit it and try to make it a little better. But that's the whole purpose of this video, is to look at CHAZ, look at CHOP, look at the Paris Commune, look at the New Harmony. Like they had all these ideas and they kept going, and slowly gets a little better, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little better. And these small experiments I think are they're suitable to at least put something into action. Now, is it good? That's up to you to decide. Is it bad? That's up to you to decide. Now, is it okay for people to sell food without a permit or license? Is it okay for people to give free maxi pads and food to the homeless people? Should that happen more often? No, like it's uh anyways, yeah, so this is the and then you could also look at what they also did was they had a whole team of kind of lightly trained medics. I mean, it's basically a community kind of medic team that went around, and if you had like a cut or anything, you had just any problems, they'll go around. There's things that seem like about 20 of them, and they would go and help you with it. They were which that to me is kind of cool, like a whole community medic team that's like has no government or no like bullshit to like stop them. Like it's like, hey, okay, hey, I want to help people. Okay, go and help people. Like, go. I think that's kind of cool. And okay, now let's get away. If anyone in CHOP or CHAZ thought that, or even outside of it, thought that it was gonna last, I think you're an idiot. I'm not gonna lie. I think you're a total idiot. Because they're not meant to last. They're meant to at least show a couple of things, show how, um, show maybe how either very pro democracy works or very pro like anarchist theory works in some small aspects. Like a whole bunch of like people opening up shops and selling food on the street. That's anarchy. People going around in community medics, helping people out. That's anarchy. Like it's just groups of people coming together without any actual government oversight or anything else like that. That's considered that's anarchy. There's no actual ruler. That's how it goes. That is anarchy. Now, they might not be anarchists, but it is anarchy. I mean, because anarchist is from the Latin word "an" means without, and arcos, which means ruler. That ruler. That's kind of what they did. They just no one told them like, "Hey, set up shops." No, they're like, "Hey, I think this place needs shops. I think we should just do it." That seems like a good idea. Oh, we need help. Oh, people need help and moving stuff. Okay, I think we should just go out and go get people to move stuff. Now, I'm not saying I'm pro CHAZ or I'm against it. That's for you to decide. I don't really care. I don't think it was actually going to work, and I don't know how it would have worked. Yeah, kind of there, kind of happened. So, like, do I think I mean, do I think the militarized police should probably demilitarize? Definitely. Do I think we need to probably cut some of that spending? Definitely. Do I think we need to cut military spending? Definitely. Do I think we need to probably loosen regulations and licensing in most states? Definitely. Is this kind of a clear evidence of that? Yeah, kind of. Like, I mean, do I think we need more community gardens? Definitely. Do I think we need to show people how to garden? Yes. Um, definitely. Do I think? I don't know what else I think. I don't know. But that's all for today. Catch you around. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Watch us on Anchor. It helps us with money. Helps us with paying the bills, and you can maybe potentially help me pay for my phone bill. Kind of like this. That'd be really nice. Actually, thank you. Have a good night, day, good morning.